We do have to move on, though, to a darker topic regarding Katie's season, and that is all of these conspiracy theories about Greg. Now, Greg, obviously, you guys, was such an early frontrunner. I mean, first impression rose, first one-on-one. He charmed all of Bachelor Nation literally in this moment with the pasta necklace, and, you know, that's when, of course, he got that rose. It's been a pretty good journey for Greg so far. But the rumor mill is doing its thing, and I don't know, you guys, we're going to have to really unpack this timeline about the conspiracy theory regarding him going to acting school, because I know that there are a lot of things, but we're going to talk about that today. We previously actually here on Shared News have talked about these acting school rumors, the fact that he was an actor, you know, made a bunch of people in Bachelor Nation nervous, right? Nervous that maybe he was there for exposure, or some of these moments weren't as genuine because he's a trained actor, right? Like, I personally laughed because I didn't think there was anything to it at first, but they just keep coming. You know, we're getting more and more details. His job, just so we're all clear, the job in his ABC bio and also in like his LinkedIn, you guys, is that he's a marketing rep. But a source is telling The Sun, quote, "He is absolutely lying about his career and intentions on the show. He's always wanted to pursue an on-camera career." Now, you can see him standing there in front of an acting studio, and The Sun was able to confirm that Greg did attend the prestigious William Esper Studio, which is a New York City acting school, from 2017 to 2019. This hasn't been mentioned on the show at all. And 2019, if you really think about it, wasn't that long ago. So I think this timeline and how recent it was is what's starting to maybe raise some more eyebrows, right? Like when we first learned that he went to acting school, I think a lot of people were like, when he was a teenager? Like, who cares, right? This source did have a lot to say, so I'm gonna just give you guys like a quick overview of kind of all of the accusations, and then I wanna know your thoughts. So, according to this source, he spoke a lot about fame through acting school, and apparently it seemed like he needed a lot of recognition to feel good about himself, which is definitely opposite to those kind of humble, shy vibes we were getting on the show. The source also says, quote, "For some reason, he's trying to come off like he's in marketing, which is just not true, or if it is, an extremely recent development and not at all how he's portraying it." Now, it would be an extremely recent development because, again, keeping in mind that timeline, according to his LinkedIn, he's only had this marketing job for like 2 months before he would have had to leave it and come to join the Bachelorette. So again, it is an extremely recent development, but this source is sort of leaning into the shady side of it all. Continuing saying, Greg thought he could pull a fast one on the audience by just not acknowledging he's a trained actor and pretending to be some marketing guy. And this is kind of the kicker for a lot of people, the fact that he deleted, supposedly, a lot of this acting content off of his social media account and his LinkedIn. There are no signs of acting. He's supposedly told friends not to mention it if anyone asks about it, and he's untagged himself from all of his classmates' photos. So again, I want to be very clear that this is all coming from a source, right? So we don't have, like, at least as far as I'm aware, you guys let us know if we're wrong in the chat, screenshots of like a previous Instagram feed with a ton of stuff that he then went and removed or deleted and untagged. It's kind of hearsay at this point. But with all of that info I just threw at you guys, and with your initial opinions about Greg, Gianna, what do you make of this? I mean, it feels to me a little bit like grasping at straws, but then I look at the evidence and I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I should be suspicious. Are you? How are you feeling?
I just feel a little heartbroken if this is true, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love Greg so much. If he doesn't marry Katie, I will marry him. But it's crazy because I've been seeing these theories on all over social media, especially on TikTok, and a lot more theories on top of it saying because he went to acting school, like he is just acting his way through the season just to get fame. And listen, I'm going to put myself in his shoes for a second. You know, not that I went to acting school for college, but I took acting classes for a long time. I took acting classes throughout college because I thought maybe that was going to be something I was going to pursue, and it's not. And now I do happen to be an on-camera person. If I went on The Bachelor as a contestant, And then people kind of dug up my background and saw, oh, but she went to school for broadcasting. She took acting classes. All she wants to do is have this on camera position. But if it just so happens that, yeah, although I'm on camera, but I'm on the show to find love, it's like an unfortunate correlation. And I think that's what's happening with Greg here. I really don't think that he's on the show necessarily to pursue his on-camera acting career, especially where usually the contestants and leads come off as more so influencers rather than, known actors. So I also think that because he was in marketing for a couple of months, acting is a hard career to land. The fact that he's right out of acting school, you know what? Not everyone lands on Broadway or in a movie or in a TV series right away. And he probably adopted maybe a little freelance job. And yeah, maybe he started it 2 months ago, but if he's a freelance worker, he's technically allowed to drop the job and take all the time that he needs off to be on Katie's season. So I don't know. I maybe it's me not wanting to believe these claims, but I am Team Greg and I will support him all the way. I do believe that he is the shy, humble guy that we're seeing. But Avery, do you agree with me? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a couple different ways to look at this. I feel like if you want to be a successful, well-respected actor, you don't go on reality TV. But there's a thin line between like wanting to be a successful actor and just wanting fame. And then going on a reality TV show would be that like shortcut to fame. But I'm going to have to separate the two here because he did go to like a prestigious acting school. He just didn't go to any school and like major in acting or take acting. He went to an acting school. Therefore, I think he's more serious about it. But I also think he strictly went on the show to find love. Then again, I do just already love him so much. It's hard to like talk bad. But like that's how I'm going to separate the two because I don't know. You kind of could tell between the people who are trying to climb that mountain of fame and to me, their connection seems genuine. I don't know if he initially had that in mind and then ended up really falling for Katie. But the only other suspicious thing to me is the marketing job. But then again, you can't just graduate and be on booked in everything as an actor. You kind of have to have another stable job. So that does make sense. But he only was there for 2 months. But I don't know. I believe him because at the end of the day, it seemed like he was pretty serious about acting. And a serious actor knows like that's probably not the best way to get your foot in the door. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, here's the thing that I find really interesting is like, at the end of the day, yes, he went to this prestigious acting school, but I'm pretty sure if we search him on IMDb, like there's no movies he's made, right? I feel like that would be all over TikTok. If he even did a commercial, I think we all would have seen it by now, right? So it's like, yes, granted, he went to this prestigious program, but I don't know, maybe he didn't want to call himself an actor just yet because he knew that if that was his, position, that was his bio for The Bachelorette, people would maybe investigate his career and see that he hasn't done anything yet, which there's no shame in, right? I mean, it's a long journey to find success as an actor. So that's kind of my thing is even when I first found out like, oh, okay, this acting school thing is more in the recent past as opposed to the distant past, that doesn't mean that he has like a super thriving career in that field yet. So he honestly maybe just said marketing because that's his day job right now. And it would, I guess it didn't work out, but in theory, maybe lessons, right? It could have just been a simple play in that sense. Who knows? Producers may have even advised him to not say he was an actor because look at the way it's being perceived. I mean, the other thing is, and I'm curious for your take on all of this, you guys, some of these source quotes, what's kind of rubbing me the wrong way is I'm going to go back to the quote here. Greg thought he could pull a fast one on the audience by just not acknowledging he's a trained actor and pretending to be a marketing guy. He's trying to come off like he's in marketing, which is just not true. And I'm like, I haven't seen him try to misrepresent his career at all on the show yet. They haven't even talked about it. I mean, what I'm so curious about, you guys, is like maybe the next time they're on a date or they have some sit down time, are we going to hear him talking to Katie about how like he has this crazy dream that one day he might be an actor, but right now he's working in marketing? Like we haven't seen him mislead her yet at all. So I'm just like kind of, I guess, apprehensive to kind of jump on this conspiracy wave because we've seen him be a great guy so far and we're only 2 weeks in. Like, do you guys feel like he's misrepresented himself at all at this point based on what you've seen? Avery, what's your take?
No, because like you said, we haven't even seen him talk about his job. And I'm sure as time goes on, they might dabble into that a little more and we'll get more insight. But there's also a possibility that he may just not want to pursue acting anymore. And that's probably why we can't find any receipts. Maybe he changed his mind and really did want to go into marketing. And then he got this opportunity to be on The Bachelor. There's a lot of different possibilities here, but I just feel like people are out to get him and he may not have bad intent. But at the end of the day, like he could have went to acting school and been like, never mind, I don't want to do this. But anything's possible. I hope we'll get more insight on this though as the show goes on because I'd love to know the real answers.
Yeah, and I mean, as we're talking about this, something just kind of popped into my head. I mean, he graduated from the program, at least if what the information we have is true, is in 2019. We all know what happened in 2020. I mean, hello, let's face it. What auditions was he even going? Like, if he truly ended that program and was maybe going to try to start his career as an actor in New York City, like, maybe that didn't happen because there was a global pandemic and so he got a job in marketing and then applied. Who knows what the journey looked like? I think it's so funny talking to you all about it because I think it's so clear that we really want him to be a good guy. We don't want this to be true. We might be eating these words as more info comes out in the next few weeks. Who knows? You guys, this panel may be a little biased on the Greg front right now. We want to know your thoughts. Do you think Greg is super sus? Are you buying into these conspiracies? Is the actor thing rubbing you the wrong way? Let us know in the chat because honestly, jury's still out. We don't have a concrete answer on Greg's intentions, if he's there for the right reasons as of right now. Only time will tell. We, of course, want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts on all of the things we covered today. And I know I said it, but I'm going to say it again. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so we can keep you updated on Bachelor Nation 24/7. As always, I am your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the absolutely wonderful Avery Grooms and Gianna Gravelisi. If you want to come say hi, keep the conversation going, check out our socials. They're on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live with us, and we will see you next time. Bye.